Hey everyone, it's Big Guy here, and I'm really happy to say today I'm doing another interview, but with this time it's with Whitearrowvr. How are you, mate?
I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. How are you?
I'm really good, man. I've been really excited for this. It's
Same.
it's a complete pleasure to have someone like you on the show here, man. It's an
Oh, it's nice of you to say, man. But it's nice being here having a chat with you.
it's really cool. So you ready to get into the questions?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right then, let's go for question number one. What made you come up with your username for your channel?
It was an old work friend of mine actually that gave me the name. We used to work in an office just outside of Manchester city centre where I'm from, and we'd kind of walk into town every evening after finishing work, but we'd always walk the same way and pass a street sign with a very prominent white arrow on it. So just as like a little bit of fun, little bit of a laugh, we'd always try and jump to reach it. And he just started calling me White Arrow because I kept beating him to it, and eventually it caught on to the point where people who didn't even know the background just started calling it me. So when it came to creating the channel, there was only one name I could go with, really.
Alright, that's pretty interesting. Question number two. What made you want to, continue to grow for your channel? Like, what was the inspiration to keep going after, like, from 1 subs to 1K?
I would say just seeing the reactions players of the game were having to my videos. Really, I mean, I didn't start the channel with any real plans for growth or anything like that. I just wanted to create something that people would enjoy. So I just cracked on with the videos, and they seemed to go down well. So yeah, I just kept pumping them out.
So was this the reaction to people of your content made you keep going?
Yeah, precisely that. I started out quite small, just doing like live streams of the game before I actually started like making discussion content and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like just started building an audience slowly, but I got some really positive feedback, and yeah, that kind of it inspired me to carry on creating.
Alright, fair enough. Next question. What do you consider like the milestones of your channel? Like, what would you like say is like the big moments that go down in books for you?
God, maybe making the switch from just streaming live to actually creating discussion content. I think that was a really big thing for the channel, and it's where I started seeing like a little bit of a spike in the view count as well. Because originally I was clocking maybe like 20, 30 views per live stream, if that. So when I started doing things like the lore videos or the DLC concept, for example, like some of my early videos, that's when it really started to shift. Another milestone I would say is probably winning Skydance Interactive 12 Kills of Christmas.
Oh, I did.
Um,
I remember seeing that. That's really cool.
oh, cheers, man. Cheers. Yeah. I mean, it was so bizarre how it happened. Like I was just on like an ordinary playthrough, just messing around, like trying to hone my skills, if you will.
Aye.
And yeah, so I was just messing about a bit with the katana, and then that happened. I was like, oh my god, I need to clip that. And I'm not the biggest content creator, so I didn't have any real expectations of actually winning it. And I know it was just a bit of fun, but actually coming out on top was, yeah, that was a huge flex for the channel. So I would say that was a big milestone for sure.
Yeah, I know. I remember the scene of 12 Kills of Christmas thing. I was like, oh my god, he won it. It's cool for him, man. Aye.
Well, it was really surprising because I mean, it was at that point where myself and Substatica were kind of backing and forthing on the Reddit zombie kills of the week.
Aye.
And personally, I thought Substatica's kill was a little better than mine. So to actually come out on top, yeah, it was surprising, but yeah, felt good.
Aye. How did hitting 1K make you feel?
Oh, mate, it was a brilliant feeling crossing the line for 1K. Even poured myself out a little whiskey and toasted it. You know, I just can't thank people enough for subscribing, really, and being so supportive. I mean, you'll know yourself, as part of this community, we've got such a great community for this game.
The Saints Sales community is just like a bunch of talented people doing talented things, isn't it?
Agreed, yeah, and it's nice to be a little part of that.
I know, but it's fair enough actually. That's
Yeah.
that's fair enough. Uh, what are the future plans for your channel? Do you have like any new content planned, like any merchandise or anything? Like just like anything new you want to say or anything?
Well, I don't think I'm big enough as a content creator yet to kind of put out merchandise or anything like that. I'm not sure anybody would buy it, to be honest. So, but I'd like to eventually branch out and maybe add some more games to the channel. I feel like that would kind of be the next big step. Maybe some more VR zombie games down the line or something like that. So that's certainly something that I'm going to be looking at, especially when I make the upgrade from PSVR to Quest 2. That's going to open up a whole new world for me. So it would be nice to get some more games on the channel and maybe even do some collaborations as well. You know, a lot of people in the Saints and Sinners community have been like making videos together. So it'd kind of be nice to be a part of that and create some content with some of my favorite creators.
No, no, fair enough. Then cool. What's your advice to like anybody like who would like to grow in the Saints and Sinners community or just like YouTube in general? Like, what's your advice to the people who like want to do YouTube and try to get big and all that?
I think if there's one thing that I could say to anyone, it's just enjoy what it is you're doing. You know, this game has a really strong and loyal community, like we said before, and everyone's super friendly. So yeah, just get involved, find ways to keep it fresh for yourself, and just love what it is you do.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. I know, definitely. Alright, now we're gonna move on to the actual Saints and Sinners related questions to the actual game. How did you find out about Saints and Sinners? Like, how did you find out about the game?
It was actually through a friend of mine who showed me a clip from a Wolf in VR's playthrough, like when the game first launched. So I'd recently gotten like my VR headset, like maybe like I think it was like April 2020. I got it through an Amazon bundle. Yes, mate. And I was kind of looking for some cool games to play. So when my mate James showed me the game, it just blew me away. I mean, I'm a fan of the Walking Dead series and the zombie genre as a whole anyway, so kind of being able to step into that universe really excited me, and I was like, I need to get this game. Oh my god.
Yeah, alright, no. Yeah, no, fair enough. Next question. What was your first opinions on Saints and Sinners from like your first completion of a game, like the first time you finished it? Like, what did you think of it? Like once you finished it?
Oh, it was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Like I'll never forget the feeling of stepping out into the shallows for the first time and coming across that first zombie.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's good to shit out of me when I first
that's what I'm saying. Like just watching a zombie just edge out from around the corner, I was like, oh my god. But it's exciting, and games like this really evoke the emotion, and it's funny you should ask me that, because I was actually watching back a video from my first playthrough of the game recently, and the difference is crazy, just in terms of like the efficiency of my play style and utilizing the crafting benches fully, things like that. I've got to say, it was a bit of an awkward watch. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I remember when I was first watching back like my first PlayStation VR playthrough or something. I was so embarrassed of like how bad I was playing the whole time. Like I was flaying all about the place and I kept shitting myself at like every turn. But like it's a really good show of growth in it, from like your first playthrough to like your 50th playthrough or something, when you know everything, you know what missions to do and all that. But
Well, precisely. I mean, like when you actually put the hours into the game, and you kind of learn like different tips and tricks, different ways of playing the game, and especially like when you'll do like different playthroughs, to kind of test yourself and your skill level. Like you do pick up a lot of things on the way. But I mean, Rome's not built in a day, is it? So you just got to crack on as best you can, really. But yeah, I would say that initial feeling of actually stepping out into the world for the first time and coming across zombies it was an amazing feeling.
alright, no, good enough, fair enough. What was like your most favorite experience with Saints and Sinners? Like, what was like your most favorite part of playing the game, if you can answer?
Um, Guys, I've got a few, so it's hard to nail down just one, to be honest.
Say most of them if you want.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we mentioned winning the 12 kills of Christmas. So like actually playing through that was a special moment for me. Completing the game with no guns and without dying for the first time was an awesome feeling. That was brilliant. JB acting drunk is another one. That was fantastic. I haven't laughed that hard at a video game ever in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just brilliant. I've got loads, but I would say they're the ones that come to me off the top of my head.
All right, no. I remember the GB "Go Home You're Drunk" video. I was really looking into that one.
But I'm just looking at him, and he's like, "When it comes to combat, I'm decisive and swift," and then just runs into the corner. Brilliant. Just like, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Come on.
No. Next one. What's like your least favorite experience from Sense Says? Obviously, if you have one, that is.
I can honestly say, yeah, I don't have a least favorite moment. I mean, it's been a really great experience playing the game these past 2 years or so. So I really don't have one. I'm sorry, mate. I don't.
No, that's fine. No, it's all good, mate. All right. What's the next one? Do you like wish Skydance did like anything different for Saints and Says? Like, do you like wish you could change anything about the game, like from start to finish, or Aftershocks or anything like that?
I think the addition of some post-game completion content wouldn't have hurt the game. You know, maybe some like side quests or something like that. I mean, the problem is once you complete the game, that there isn't really much to do except scavenge and kill death squads. So some like little side missions, I think would have been nice to see. If there's anything that I could have changed about the game, it probably would have been that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. 'Cause remember, like a lot of the criticisms towards the game is mainly its post-game content. Like, you do have the trial and Aftershocks, but those were like Aftershocks was added like a year after, and the trial, yeah, it's fine. But a lot of people is not a fan of horde modes. Fair enough, but yeah. Let's hope they can improve on that in Retribution. To be honest with you.
Well, I think they seem to have been working really hard on creating a well-rounded experience for Retribution. I mean, you know, Saints and Sinners itself is a fantastic game, and even, you know, like 2.5 years down the line, it still stands up as one of the best VR games on the market. So I think, you know, Skydance Interactive have always been really good at kind of taking things on board. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with Retribution to kind of switch up that post-game content.
Alright, yeah, I definitely. What's the next one? Sorry. Out of like a lot of games you could have done like videos on, why is like Saints and Says like the primary game you choose to do? Because I know like you've said like you want to branch out at some point to like other VR games and zombie games and that, but why Saints and Says? Like, why is that like the front runner for your content?
Well, I mean, like I did used to do other content when I first started out, and it wasn't just limited to VR. The channel was originally called White Arrow Scott when I first launched it, and I did things like FIFA playthroughs. I did a super hot playthrough. I even completed Detroit Become Human, and they just weren't getting as many views as the Saints and Sinners content that I was putting out. So I switched it up, decided to be just a content creator from the game itself. I mean, it's not unusual to see people on YouTube, you know, kind of sticking to one game. For example, I've played RuneScape since I was a teenager, pretty much, and still do in my free time. And you see creators out there dedicated to making content just for that game. So I've kind of decided to do the same for now. You know, kind of establish an audience base, kind of really try and establish myself in that community, and plus like Saints and Sinners is one of the best games. It's one of my favourite games that I've ever played in my life. So yeah, that's kind of the inspiration behind it as well.
Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Next one. Have you ever felt like burnt out from Sids? Like, have you ever felt like the game's like really got too bored at any point? Like too bored? Jesus.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I think we all experience burnout in some form or another. You know, that's why it's important to kind of find new ways to keep the game fresh for yourself. You know, that there's obviously like there has been times where I've been like, oh come on, man. But yeah, like you find new things to do, new ways to create content around the game, and to keep creating. So
Alright, no, fair enough. Yeah, no, makes sense. Next one. Sorry about this. What's
no,
been
it's alright, mate.
what's been like your most like fun challenge you ever done in Saints and Says? Like, what's like ever been your most, like out of all the challenges you've done, like what has been like your most wow, this was amazing. I wish I could do this again on stream. Like, challenges like that you wanted to dig in.
I would say impossible mode. That was a lot of fun, not just for the challenge itself, but for the people that were watching it. That they really made it a great experience for me personally. When I was doing that challenge, it was kind of just at the point where the channel was starting to grow. So I had some regulars watching, and then some new viewers joining as well. So I'd say out of all the challenges, yeah, impossible mode it's the standout for me anyway.
Alright, no, okay, okay. Next one. What's your opinion on like the campaign and story of Saints and Sinners? Like, what do you think of it?
I think it's brilliant, yeah, and of course, the lore of the game, it's expanding and evolving all the time. I mean, when you create a game as immersive as this, you kind of need to make sure the lore is on point, and I think Skydance Interactive have clearly shown a lot of care and attention to details, which was really needed. I think considering they're trying to create a proper world for us
Like actual
to kind of.
franchise out of this.
Yeah, exactly that. Just something that you can really immerse yourself in, and it's just fascinating to me that each character has a proper backstory or mystery to them. And like it makes you want to play the game more. It makes you want to find out more about them as well, and you become invested in those characters. So yeah.
All right, yeah, okay. What's your opinion on Tourist and slash Kelvin as like a
Kelvin.
Fuck's-
Oh, Kelvin,
Jesus. Oh boy.
mate.
Uh,
What you were saying before about favorite moments? I think that one has to be up there as well.
Oh my
Kelvin.
god, it was such like
Jeez.
it was just such an out of nowhere moment. It was just
Fantastic. Yeah,
oh,
Kelvin.
Jesus.
Kelvin's great. Kelvin's brilliant. No, I think it's very, very clever of the devs to kind of leave a bit of mystery surrounding the tourist, so it can reflect the behaviour of the person playing it. Do you know what I mean? But I personally would love to find out a little bit more about the tourist's origin in Retribution, kind of where they came from. Get a little bit of a backstory going. That would be probably one of my biggest wishes. But yeah, as far as like a main character goes, I think they've done very, very well with creating the tourist. Yeah.
All right, good, yeah. So I can't
Kelvin.
I can't get. Oh boy.
Kelvin, mate, brilliant.
What's your favorite? All right, this like is very specific, but like, do you have like any missions like you really liked out of the game or anything?
I always enjoy. Oh, sorry, go on, mate.
No, I was just gonna say this can include like Aftershocks and all that. It just doesn't have to be the campaign. Like any mission that you really remember, like really liked. Do you have like anyone like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed May's intel missions. I think they're quite challenging, and it's quite fun to kind of sneak around, and you get the opportunity to be quite stealthy in those missions. So I would say they're definitely my favourites. In terms of like characters as well, I always thought JB was awesome. I love his radio broadcasts. He's so charismatic. Yeah, JB stand out. Casey as well would be up there. I think he's a bit of a tortured soul, isn't he, Casey? Bless him.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Bless the multiple people that killed him on their first playthrough.
Yeah, I know. Mate, I was one of those people. Oh. I was, yeah.
I couldn't do it. I started for like 10 minutes straight thinking, can I just get all the loot and not kill him? But I couldn't do it. I just really couldn't.
Well, I mean, he kind of did us a little bit dirty at the spoiler alert, but he kind of did us a bit dirty at the end. But yeah, I would say Casey's up there with probably the most well developed characters in the game for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, fair enough. A lot of the missions are kind of hit or miss. Especially, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of the main missions. If I'm keeping it real with you here, To be fair, I kill her most of the times I see her anyway, so I don't remember them too well. But from what I remember, I just wasn't a big fan. But to each their own, I guess.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, like May's quite. She's a bit of an enigma, isn't she, May? I mean, like she's clearly had like a really really bad time in the apocalypse, especially with everything that happened to her in the tower and losing her husband and things like that, and then trying to establish the Exodus. And yeah, like it's a bit bad for her with everything that happens, and then of course with what happens to Armbra, it's like she's.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I get where you're coming from. Yeah, to be fair, I shit on me a lot, but to be fair, you have to remember sometimes that she literally had. Oh shit! Dropped my phone.
Oh mate.
I know what some people have to remember is that she literally has lost her husband and tried to raise like one kid throughout the whole apocalypse. Like that is not an easy job. Like props to her. In all honesty.
Well, like, yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think everybody has a breaking point, especially in the apocalypse. You know, when it's kind of like it's not real life, is it? You know, and with her losing her husband and then losing her daughter, and just I don't blame her at all for kind of having that meltdown at the end of the game. But yeah, it's just it's sad to see.
Yeah,
sad to see.
Aye, but it really has some sad stuff. Like, she had, like, everything going for her, like, nearly at the end, like, we're gonna escape New Orleans and all that, but, you know, it's good writing at the end of it. They really had to give a reason for you to, like, really think about your last choices, to be fair, so... Just...
Do you think we'll see any references to her in Retribution or anything like that?
I feel like... Yeah, you actually got me thinking this time. See, here's the thing. With the whole your chapter 1 save will have an effect on your second game, it does give me like the tiniest bit of hope a lot of characters could return if we didn't kill them. So, but with the whole survivors faction that's apparently in the second game, there is a good chance that her whole thing might have lived on and became a lot bigger than she could have made up. So, who knows? But I'd like to think so. But it's all it's only time will tell, isn't it?
Well, I'd love to see the return of some of the characters, you know, that we didn't kill, if you were so inclined, of course. But I think it's very very creative of the devs to kind of incorporate your first save from the original Saints and Sinners into Retribution. I think that's brilliant. So yeah, I'm very very excited to kind of see what they do with that and how they incorporate the choices that you made from the first game into the second. I think that's going to be very very interesting.
Yeah. All right. Next one. What's your like most and least favorite like melee and gun in Saints and Sinners? Because you know everyone has their own opinions on the things, but like, what do you think?
Very true. Yeah, very true. The FS92M has always been my go-to gun. I know it jams a lot, but personally, I think it's the best gun in the game. For melee, I would say probably the katana or Samidi's hand. Least favourite gun, bit controversial, would probably be the Nova. I very rarely use it.
Come on, man, really?
Well, this is obviously, like you said, like this is personal preference. I don't by any stretch of your imagination think it's the worst gun in the game. Like, you know, it's very very powerful, but I rarely use it, if at all, on my runs. It's just, for me, it's a bit of a cheat code. It's too easy, far too much stopping power for the amount of zombies and NPCs that you come across. I think in Retribution it'll be much more handy considering how many more zombies there does seem to be. But for Saints,
it'll be a lot more useful.
Precisely, yeah. But yeah, for Saints and Sinners 1, nah, not for me. Not for me.
Fair enough. Teach your own, like I said before. Alright. You don't have to answer this one if you don't want to, but do you like have any favourite YouTubers in the Saints and Sinners community, or just like in general? Like, just like, you know, at all? Yeah, for sure. I don't mind answering that at all. I mean, I've always... Sure. No, of course. You know, it's a great community. Like we've said a few times before, and I personally, I've always been a big fan of Panic Packing. I've been watching him since he had like 200 subscribers.
So to see his growth has been awesome, and he's made some brilliant content around the game down the years. Nutty AK 2 Taps as well, up there with my favourites. I think when you talk about somebody like Nutty, you kind of have to put him up there with the best players in the world. The boundaries that he's pushed this game to, it's unrivaled for me, and he's a really nice guy as well. You know, like when you speak to him, he's very, very active in the community. For me, he's one of the best ever. And then of course you've got creators like GNQ Gaming, who is a proper leader in this community. You know, the things that he's doing with the modding and his challenges, for example, really doing things to keep the game alive. Dr. Bread as well has become one of my new favourites. He's growing so much, and his content is always really quality. As a fan of American Psycho, I particularly enjoyed his content around that. That was brilliant. But then you've got like other content creators like the Zeladar, who does some great playthroughs, and yourself, for example, who also make awesome content. So there's plenty of YouTubers that I do watch around the game, and like, you know, these are kind of the people that I look up to and want to emulate. Like people like Substatica, obviously, or Wolf in VR, just real heavyweights when it comes to creating content around this game.
All right, yep. No, I'm flattered when you said me as well, mate.
But it's true though. Like, I mean, like, you know, you taking time out of your day to come and speak to people such as myself and GNQ Gaming, I think it's a really quality idea, mate. And like your channel's only going to continue growing.
I will only hope. But no, thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate it.
You're all right. Like, keep it.
All right. Alright, let's move on to the trial questions. Just to give you really short. What's your opinion on trial? Like, what do you think of it?
I quite like the trial. I've not done too many playthroughs on the channel. I did the 28 waves later playthrough. Yeah, that was decent. Where I'd try and do like 28 waves, because obviously it only goes to 20, doesn't it? Which admittedly I didn't know at the time, but life is learning, isn't it? I think it's a great way of kind of learning how to deal with stressful situations in the game, you know, especially like if you're out after the bells, for example, and you've got zombies coming at you from all angles. I think it's good training. One thing I would obviously like to have seen is kind of a multiplayer aspect to it. I know like there's been a lot of discussion in the community around, you know,
a very great area to a lot of people. Some people want it, some people don't. It's just. It's it's teach your own. Like I've said like 3 times now. Everyone has their opinion on that type of stuff.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about it?
All right, my main worry, because gonna get a little bit rude to the Citizens community here, but some people are really impatient when it comes to, like, I feel like a really good example is the Aftershocks delay from May to September. If you remember pretty well, pretty sure we commented about this once, but it was. The bunch of comments that were under the delay post was so childish in my opinion. It was always like, oh, it's just like a couple of weeks, that should be it, all that type of stuff. I really believe if multiplayer was to be announced, it would take at least like above a year to even happen, if I'm being completely honest with you. And if they had to wait a year, oh boy, and I feel that'd put a lot of stress on developers, which would lead to a very rushed and poor made game mode in my opinion, which would really strain the whole view of Saints and Sinners as a whole. But I just believe the community is too impatient. Some people in specific, obviously, like not everybody. Some people have the patience of saints, for God's sake, with this game. But...
some were saints and some were sinners.
Look, I have no problem with it ever happening. It's just I'm really worried about the developers' workload if they ever were to do something like that, because they did like an interview with Upload.VR at some point. If I remember that correctly, they said that it'd be like a huge technical hurdle, and they have their work cut out for them anyway. You have Chapter 2 coming in and all that, so I think multiplayer's kind of off the table for a little while until post-launch content for that game starts happening.
Well, I completely agree with everything that you said, and I think that was the reason why Skydance kind of they went a bit dark. They went a bit dark on Twitter for a while, didn't they? Like where they didn't post anything while they were working on Aftershocks, and I think because of that reason, because of of the backlash that they were getting within the community. But you know, I'd much rather them go away and take that time to kind of fix the game rather than rush it out. Like you said, it you know, it'd be subpar content, and Aftershocks was really, really good. So, you know, actually taking the time to go and fix the issues. I mean, you know, it was a bit sad that it got delayed. Like literally, was it like a week before?
It was like 3 I'm gonna be honest here. I'm pretty sure it was delayed on May 17th. It was meant to come out on May 20th, so like 3 days before it came out, if I'm remembering this correctly.
But I mean, if it's broke, you can't just release the game and then go, okay.
It's like a lose-lose situation. You either release a content update, which is pretty subpar, nobody likes, or you delay it and you get constant, just impatient people wanting more and more until, you know, they actually have to upload something. So it's a lose-lose situation from, but all in all, it's, I don't know.
It worked out, didn't it? It worked out for the best anyway.
Well, everyone has their opinions on Aftershocks, so it's always just, yeah. It's not like it was bad or anything, to be fair. It was just, aye. Anyway, alright. Alright. This was maybe a bit of trial, for God's sakes. It was Aftershocks.
It's the beauty of the tangent, man. It's the beauty of the tangent.
Fair enough. Alright. Second question. Do you think the trial should return for Chapter 2? Because they have like said like wait for announcements, but do you think it should return?
I do, yeah. I'd like to see some new maps though. You know, I think like we're quite limited at the moment, so it would have been nice to have seen like a Rampart map, for example. I think that would have been absolutely badass. So yeah, that would have been brilliant to see. And just to kind of expand on the concept of it, really make it less about like RNG, like Nutty has said in the past, and more about your actual skill level. So you know, I think personally, like it's an enjoyable game mode, and it offers you something different. You know, it kind of can switch up the play style for you. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that I think would need ironing out, and just to kind of expand on the concept a little bit. But yeah, absolutely, I think it should return for Chapter 2.
No, well, to be fair, we have like the hordes and everything coming for Chapter 2, so I do feel like they really have to like up their game if they were to actually bring back the trial, and you know, add new things to it that would really give it a boost to the original. But we'll just have to wait.
Well, I mean, is there anything in particular that you'd like to see, or?
I'm gonna keep it real wee here, mate. I've only played the trial like 5 times at best, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
No, okay. I don't hate the idea of the mode. I really do enjoy it. It's just. I don't know. It's I just don't think it. Like, I really don't want to shit on Skydance here and say like it's terrible or something. It really isn't. It's just not my type of mode at the end of the day.
No, that's fair enough. Like you said, it's each to their own, isn't it? I mean, the reason it appealed to me so much was because it reminds me of Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. So you know, like actually getting to kind of play a version of that in VR was really brilliant to me. I mean, I've still got my old PS3, and I still jump on and play the original Black Ops Zombies map. So you know, for me, like I enjoyed it. But yeah, like I said, if they iron out some of the little kinks with it, I think it could be a very, very good game mode, and especially like if you know, like we were saying, they incorporate multiplayer into it in some point in the future. I think that's kind of the only way that really you could do multiplayer in Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. Yeah. I mean, I've touched on that in like previous videos and stuff, but yeah, like you said, it's a bit of a controversial one in the community.
Right. All right. Let's move on to Aftershocks questions. Okay. What was your first reaction to Aftershocks? By the way, you can watch this at Whitearrowv's YouTube channel, just in case. But anyway, what was your first reactions to Aftershocks, like from start to finish?
Like actually playing the game through.
Just like playing it through.
Well, I've got to say, I was a bit gutted that we didn't see the Louisiana National Guard. I kind of dropped a bollock with that one, didn't I?
I was really confused, like, because I was really hoping like to be like a new faction or something to at least add a little bit more, I don't know, danger to the world. Because like you said in your Aftershocks video, we did see like the National Guard at some point, didn't we? In the trailer, but.
Well, Well, this is it. I mean, like I kind of fell for that red herring, you know, and I was absolutely convinced that
They were gonna
that
have it.
that they were coming in, you know, and then you
Yeah.
saw like the new armors and things like that. I was like, yes, this is it. It's the Louisiana National Guard, and other people in the community were talking about it as well. And then obviously we got to it, and there was no Louisiana National Guard. So that I would say that was a pretty embarrassing moment for me. Into but I've kind of learnt my lessons from that, so I don't count me eggs before they've hatched anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of like in terms of the gameplay itself, I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good expansion on the storyline.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite surprising that the Tower and the Reclaimed actually teamed up to take out the Taurus. That was a huge surprise for me. That one.
It was just like the big wow moment of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, no way, Tower and Reclaimed. Oh my god, man. There's no way. Oh, it was
I mean,
a surprise moment.
well, considering the bad blood between the Tower and the Reclaimed, you know, it was like, what has the Taurus done? Like, he has obviously pissed some people off. So
what hasn't he done at this point?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It just seems like everybody in New Orleans is gunning for him at the moment. So it would be great to kind of see, you know, where that goes in terms of the storyline for Retribution. Because you know, obviously it's going to lead on from Aftershocks, isn't it? So
well,
so
I mean, we can. I mean, there's no way they wouldn't, because like, if there's like big part of the expansion and just like forgetting about it, it sounds kind of. It just doesn't sound right, does it?
No. I loved the caches as well. You know, like just like the little side missions and just getting loads of loot, because that's how we all love a bit of loot, don't we?
Then collectibles as well, man. Those were some like cool stuff, to be honest with you.
Well, the collectibles were great. I mean, I touched on the collectibles as well in a recent video that I'd done. 5 things that you probably didn't know about Satan's and Sinners. I thought it was really cool that they incorporated, you know, the Skydance Interactive staff and some real life servicemen and women as well. So that was a really, really nice touch. Really nice touch.
Yeah, no, that was some like really cool stuff for them to do. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. The delay. Everyone obviously. Oh boy, everyone has their opinions on it, but do you think delaying the game by 4 months was worth it? Do you think like the worth for Aftershocks was worth the wait? Is probably the better question for this.
I do. I mean, it comes back to what we were saying just a minute ago, doesn't it? You know, like if it's broke, it's broke. You can't just release it, because the backlash would have been worse, I think, if they would have released it and it had been full of bugs and practically unplayable. So actually going away, taking the time out to oh, excuse me, sorry, mate. Taking the time out to actually go and fix the game. I personally, I think it was worth it. I mean, it was kind of an agonising wait, because we weren't getting like as many updates as perhaps we would have liked on it.
Yeah.
But
well, so VR game is a lot harder to develop for comparing it to like just a.
Well, exactly. Well, what was it? What was it that it came down to? Was it porting issues? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think it was switching to a new engine was like the main primary concern, and I'm pretty sure like optimizing it for like Quest 1, Quest 2 and all that was like the big main issues with Aftershocks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it says oh, sorry, can you go?
No, because I was just going to say, like, obviously it'd be unfair to release on some platforms and not on others as well, while they're trying to fix the issues around the Quest and stuff. So yeah, personally, I think the delay was worth it, because you know that we were able to play the game at the end of it. I think it would have been worse if they released it and it was buggy and unplayable. Yeah.
Yeah, no, speaking of unfair quest things, apparently the game isn't even coming to Quest 1 now, Chapter 2, so I think they're definitely like running out of, I don't know, hardware to actually port the game to Quest. So
wow.
No, although speaking of all this, it's really worrying to think that if Aftershocks wasn't well developed, that could have been the end for Saints and Sinners at some point, maybe, because like if it wasn't optimized too well and all that could have really put a hole in the actual development of the game, getting a sequel and all that.
I completely agree. Yeah, you know, I think especially like with a game like Saints and Sinners that has been built off its reputation for being an absolutely badass game. I think, you know, if they would have released Aftershocks and then it didn't live up to the hype around it, I think that would have been really damaging for the brand. So yeah, like it was for me. It was worth it anyway.
Yeah. Right. Next question. Hold up. Sorry.
Yeah.
What is up with my phone? I got done. You know what? Let's get a sec. Oh, do you think the reserve caches idea, of like the whole idea of like, you know, going to like a bunch of reserve caches and collecting them was like a good idea? And do you think like it should return for chapter 2 or anything like that?
I'd like to see them come back in some kind of concept. You know, I'd like to see them return in some form, but with the way the game seems to be leaning at the moment, it does seem like we're going to be more reliant on the things that we find out and about, because it doesn't seem like we're going to have too much access to the crafting benches if the rumours are true. You know, so
it's definitely gonna be hard to craft stuff.
Well, this is it. Exactly. I mean, but this, of course, like the bus being blown up and stuff like that, that's all rumours as well. I mean, nothing's
it's all speculation. Yeah, no, fair enough.
So nothing's been confirmed, but you know, with kind of the murmurs in the community, that's kind of where it seems to be leaning. And then obviously you've got the pawn shop as well, which is going to look like a way to get our gear. You know, I think that might be kind of a replacement for the crafting benches. You go out and you get materials to give to the pawn shop, and then in return you'll get guns and medicines and food and things like that. So yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to see how they incorporate that. But yeah, I'd like to see the reserve caches return in some format for chapter 2.
Yeah. Okay. Next question: what was your like most favorite part of Aftershocks and your like least favorite part of Aftershocks?
Favorite part was when the bus got looted. Actually, I thought that was brilliant. I think yeah. I mean, I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming when I did it first time, and they were just running away. I was like, mate, come back. So yeah, that was awesome. And then having to go out and find your supplies again and stuff, like, because like I'd got my crafting benches to the point where I had like at least 1,000 for like every material.
Yeah.
So you know,
I feel like that kind of brought down the point of Aftershocks for some people. Like, it was like a year after the game came out, and like everybody already had a bunch of supplies in it, so it kind of really took away the whole like you get a bunch of loot to craft new stuff. It really kind of brought it down for some people, to be fair.
Well, yeah, no, I can understand that, obviously, but for me, it was quite a standout moment for me, because, like you said, you know, a lot of people have been building up their supplies, getting ready for Aftershocks. I know I did quite a few live streams, like just going out and just going on like scavenging runs, getting ready.
When the game got delayed, actually, weren't you doing a live stream when the game got delayed or something like that, if I remember correctly?
Mate, I literally was right. I was live streaming. I was getting gear set up for Aftershocks, and then somebody jumped on and went, "Yeah, it's delayed. Nice one, GG." But like, what? No way! So like,
holy shit.
Honestly, like literally on a live stream as well, I found out that it was delayed. So like, I renamed the video "Pointlessly Gearing Up for Aftershocks." Brilliant. But yeah, in terms of like my favourite moment, you know, like having to go and re-get your supplies, like yeah, that was a standout for me.
Yeah.
Least favourite moment. Oh my god, that, you know, the where is it? Is it Bywater?
Are you talking about the old town one, like where you had to like follow the map or something, and like had to take different routes and stuff, or is that just?
I mean, that as well, but the you know, the one in Bywater where like you kind of you have to walk around the cannery with all of the tripwires, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was.
I mean, I kind of did like a 3,000 IQ moment. I just shot one of the barrels out from the top floor, but
no, for me, I just went up the stairs and you know, like the door that leads up to the top floor of the place.
At the cannery, yeah.
The
Yeah,
cannery.
yeah.
I just went up there and kind of, for my first playthrough, I genuinely did not know there was explosive wires there.
It's
Like,
just, it's the worst, in it?
but you know,
The absolute worst.
it's just
But yeah,
it's different experiences.
but Old Town as well, yeah.
Aye.
I could not figure that out for love nor
Aye.
money, mate.
Well,
Honestly.
I had to go to like PSVR without Power Rail's live stream and like see how he did that because I was like so confused at the time. I
Well,
was
I still don't understand how we were supposed to do that.
not
I
neither.
really,
Like I really don't know like what their sense of direction was. Like I have no idea how people even knew what you were supposed to do.
literally no idea, mate. No idea at all. Like it got to the point where I was asking, I was on live stream and I was just asking viewers to help me. I was like, where do I go? Somebody help me, please.
Aye.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Least
Aye.
favorite moments up there, yeah.
It doesn't really help either when you realize you can just skip the entire mission by just going to the final bit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no! Can you actually?
No, you literally can't. The start of it, you just go to the final bit, you pick up the middle finger drawing, and the mission just completes itself. That
Come on,
I swear to God, man, that was.
come on,
I remember like my
mate.
second try, I was like, oh wait, is it just there already? I went there, it was it was just there.
That
It could have saved
that's
so
fantastic.
much time. I know. I don't even know if it's like
Oof.
a glitch. Like, because they sure as hell haven't patched it, so I think that's just intentional, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, like, if obviously, like, if you don't know that it's there, why would you go for it in the first place? But you know, like, well, obviously, like, once you complete Aftershocks and stuff, yeah, that's quite clever. That actually,
Yeah.
it's quite clever. Mm.
Yeah. All right. Would you do anything different for Aftershocks? Like, would you like change anything about it?
Yeah, change those notes for sure. No, obviously, like, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I thought it was a really well-rounded DLC.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with it. I don't think there was anything in particular that I would do differently, or change anything up. No, I thought it suited its purpose well. I thought, you know, that there was quite a bit of story around it, and it gave us a lot of insight into what Retribution is going to be like. Yeah. So no, if there was anything different I could change, I don't think I would. No.
I don't know. I thought you mentioned that. The final question to this was, how do you think the Axeman was set up well throughout the whole game,
Oh,
from start to end?
the Axeman.
Oh
Oh,
boy,
he looks terrifying, doesn't he?
I remember like the the bunker bit. I remember like seeing you stream it, and it was your reaction to seeing them, man. Oh my god. Yeah, no,
Well, I thought it
terrifying,
was a
innit?
person. I thought it was a person. I didn't
Seriously?
think it was just a suit of armor. I started like climbing down, and I was like, nope, climb back up. Bye bye. That's me. Nope.
No,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
But no, I think I think it was set up very well. I mean, the bunker's brilliant. You know, like we were saying previously, like, well, exactly. And you know, I mean, in terms of like the supplies and stuff, that was a bit underwhelming.
It's mainly food and all that though, so it's not even like actual crafting items for like guns and stuff. So it's kind of it's a really good supply though when you really think about it. So it's just yeah.
I think the reward though for completing Aftershocks was the information for Retribution. I mean, you know, like now that the trailers have been released and stuff like that, a lot of the things that kind of we didn't know about the bunker are starting to make a lot more sense now. So, you know, yeah, for me anyway, that was kind of the payoff for completing Aftershocks was getting us hands on that information, and I of course like to kind of look into things like that and try and find the details and things. So yeah, that was brilliant. I thought the Axeman was set up very, very well.
Yeah, I remember like at the end of my personal opinion, I think the best part of Aftershocks was probably like the final bit, the when you picked up the notes where you had like the names ticked off and all that, like who they killed, and then the greetings from the French Quarterman. That was, in my personal opinion, that was like the best part of the whole thing because I was like scratching my head. I didn't know if this was like a setup for like an expansion, a new game, or just like if it was just there as a joke. I could not tell for the life of me what the point of it was.
Well, I mean, I think with the postcard when it said "see you soon" and then the French Quarter and stuff like that, that kind of gave us a little bit of insight as to something else is coming. And then of course Skydance had said that Aftershocks was literally just the beginning.
I'm pretty sure like people in Discord are also saying like the delay wasn't even just dedicated to Aftershocks; it was more like about like the future of Saints and Sinners, like as a brand.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's clear that they've been working really hard on the game. To try and live up to the hype of the first game. I mean, considering how dedicated the community is, even like 2.5 years after it released, like you still have people live streaming the game. You still have people like creating content around it and keeping the game alive, if you will. And you very rarely see that with other titles, especially in VR as well. Like where it can kind of be a little bit flash in the pan, if you will. Like you'll kind of do VR experiences and then you'll play through it and then you go, right, well, I'll just move on to something else. Whereas with Saints and Sinners, they've
come back whenever you like, because it's just available to come back to.
Precisely, yeah. And you can always find like different ways to kind of play through the game and stuff. So yeah, it's just a brilliant game, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember G&Q said this to me while I was interviewing him. He said the main reason Saints and Sinners is popular as it is, and how many YouTubers there is mainly due to its availability. Because with PSVR players, Quest players, you can just press record and go for it as long as you like. It's definitely down to the availability, which really makes people aware of it. So it's really something.
It's so true. It's absolutely correct. I thought your interview with GNQ was great as well, by the way.
That was something else. I was terrified while doing the whole thing.
But I mean, he's a really. But I mean, well, GNQ's he's a really approachable guy anyway, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's a cool guy, definitely, yeah.
Because like we were saying before, he has became like a real leader in this community, and the stuff that he's doing with the modding and stuff, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he made a good point. I think it is very very accessible to people, and it appeals to a wide genre of people as well. Just because of the immersion aspect, and like you say, finding ways to keep it fresh and finding new ways to play the game as well. So yeah.
Alright, Dead Planet. Now this is I gotta commend you for this one, mate. I fucking love what you've done with that.
Really? Oh, mate.
No joke, I really like it. Like, I remember I was in school when you uploaded the first one. I was there in the science room just sitting and watching it. I had a big goofy grin on my face the whole fucking time. I loved the whole thing, man. I gotta commend you for it.
It's Dead Planet.
I gotta commend you, mate. That's some great stuff.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
No problem. What's the inspiration for Dead Planet? What was like the whole part of it for people who might be unaware?
Well, me and the missus are huge fans of David Attenborough anyway. Like we kind of make a point to sit down and watch a lot of his stuff. So we were watching Blue Planet actually. And I was sitting there and watching it, and I'm listening to him describe all the things in the ocean.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder what he'd do. Like when in narrating a zombie apocalypse. And then
the first thing in your head was just
light bulb moment.
Saints and Sinners, man.
Well, precisely. I was just like, mate, someone should do that. I should do that. I'm going to do that. So, like, literally, I just started watching his stuff over and over again, like, trying to practice the accent and trying to get it as close to Attenborough as I possibly could. So, yeah, putting those together has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Alright. You need to answer this one, because obviously this is don't know the whole thing with this, but episode 2, do you have, like, any date or anything when that might come out? Because, like, not to be rude, but like Dead Planet, the first one was like a month or two ago, wasn't it? Like,
yes, it's true. Yeah,
I'm really not trying to be rude when I say anything like that. It's really just
no, not on. No offense taken at all, mate. I mean, to be fair, like, no, you're good.
Good.
But like, to be fair, I've been a bit lax with my content creating in general, to be honest. Like I do need to step up my game and get back on it. The reason I've not been creating as much content is I'd recently started a new job, so kind of, you know, like real world stuff gets in the way, and like I didn't have perhaps as much time as I wanted to dedicate to actually making those videos. And with something like Dead Planet, there's an awful lot that goes into kind of the
started in like the casual, just start streaming, go from there.
Well, exactly. I mean, like I mean, anybody that creates content will know it's not just a case of getting footage, sitting down, and then putting it all together. You know, like you've got like a lot of other things and a lot of other variables that kind of go into it. So I do plan on doing another episode very soon. Actually, I just wrote an episode around the tourist with my best friend as well. So that's going to kind of be like an end of the series video. But like I can give you a little sneak peek into the next video. It's going to be based on the tower.
Alright.
And then the one after that will be based on the Reclaimed.
Alright, cool. Get some big guy special information here. Fundamental. Alright, it's funny, I was a little bit asked if you plan on like bringing like any other YouTubers or just like any friends onto the Dead Planet, but like you just mentioned, you did one with your friend or something, is what you just said.
Yeah. I would love to kind of create a series around like other content creators for it. So maybe like do a video narrating GNQ's gameplay or Panic's gameplay or something like that. You know, like when they're out and about in the world. That would be a lot of fun, I think. Like, and it comes back to what I was saying before about, you know, like collaborating with other people. I think that would kind of be an idea for Retribution. So I'll definitely I'll credit you for that one, mate. Yeah, for sure. But Dead Planet 2 for Retribution. That's going to come as soon as complete Dead Planet.
Okay, cool, good. All right, last bit. Do you have like any other, I don't know, what's the word, projects you'd like to do, like Dead Planet, or just like anything similar to it, just like a whole new thing you start doing?
It would be nice to kind of do something else as well. I've kind of toyed with other little things, you know, down the line, like the Sigma Tourist. I'd love to bring those videos back. Do you know what I mean? Like that, and I think but with Retribution coming around, there's going to be a lot more opportunities to kind of create more Sigma content like that. I'd love to do the crossover episodes that I've been doing. Like I did Negan Visits Old Town. I've got an episode in the pipeline where Rick Grimes visits Rampart. So you know, I'd kind of like to expand on that a little bit as well, and kind of do more crossover stuff like that. So yeah. I mean, there's stuff that I'm trying to think of all the time. It's just actually like getting them from paper onto the screen and creating the content. Really, that's the big thing. But yeah, you know, I'm always trying to think of new ideas and like we said, you know, new ways to keep the content fresh.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. All right, stuff as the YouTuber. Any other games you play as much as Satan Sinners? Like any other games you'd like to mention that you play a lot?
I'm a huge fan of Creed: Rise to Glory. I play that game.
Boxing game in it, the VR one.
Yes, yeah. I've been playing that game almost as long as Saints and Sinners. I'm very, very good at that game. But I've got very good at that game. But like, because I'm a huge combat sports fan in general. You know, I do love watching boxing. I love watching MMA. So like, I love playing Creed: Rise to Glory. I play a lot of FIFA as well. I'm a huge football fan. So like, in my spare time, I like to play FIFA, and also RuneScape as well. I play a lot of RuneScape. So yeah, I would say that those three and Saints and Sinners would probably be my main games. You know, like they're the ones that I kind of always go to relax and stuff. But in terms of like other games, I play. You know, you've got a PSVR, haven't you? Right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I play. VR Worlds. Have you ever played VR
Oh,
Worlds?
I know. That was like the packaging thing that came with it. I know. I really liked VR Worlds. That was really good. Especially the
VR
like
Worlds is
heist part of it, if I remember that correctly. That was amazing.
yes, yes. Well, I play VR Worlds for the the shooting range,
Oh
the
yeah,
diamond heist.
yeah,
I do that like once a week because I just think that shooting range is fantastic and
yeah,
it's really good practice. Keeps you nice and sharp as well. So yeah, like I'll play that like maybe once a week as well, just to jump on and get like a little bit of practice. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Mm.
I know you mentioned PSVR games. Do you have like any exclusive PSVR games you like? Any like other games that you play on it that you really like?
Um,
If you played any, that is like I don't want to ask you something you haven't done yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've played any like PSVR exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of dabbled with like different VR games. I used to play Rec Room, not so much anymore.
Aye.
I've played through Moss. But yeah, not nothing off the top of my head really.
Hmm. And I'm gonna recommend one to you while I'm here. Blood and Truth, man, that is a banger of a game. That
Modern
is,
Truth, yes.
it's made by the people who did the Diamond Heist bit for the VR world, man. That was, oh boy, you should try it out one day, man. That game's a banger from what I remember of it.
Well, I've seen a lot of hype around Blood and Truth, but does it have
The
the shooting range? Does it have the
it does,
shooting
yeah,
range?
it does.
Yes. Right, well, mate, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. You've
Uh,
sold me. You've sold me. Blood
yeah.
and Truth. I'm having it.
All right. Any TV shows or movies you like to watch?
Yes.
You actually mentioned American Psycho. You liked that one, didn't you? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, American Psycho is a great movie. Anybody that hasn't watched that, I mean, Christian Bale, he's an absolute god of an
Aye,
actor. I
aye.
just think he's phenomenal in anything that he ever does. Yeah, he's fantastic. Me and the missus are obsessed with The Boys. I don't know if you've ever seen The Boys.
I've heard a lot about it. Apparently, it's really good, but I've never got the chance to sit down and watch it.
Oh, it's quality, mate. It's absolutely quality. Probably one of the best shows on television at the moment.
Right.
Like series three's just finished, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's unbelievable. It's one of those where you could just
Sit down
you
and
could
watch
finish
it.
you could finish watching it and then just start it again because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. It's layered quite well, and you'll catch things that perhaps you missed the first time around and stuff. But it's absolutely badass. Yeah, we're obsessed with The Boys. We're just about to start watching Peaky Blinders as well. We've never watched Peaky Blinders, so
No,
very very.
my mother watched that a lot. She's a big fan of it, man, and from what I've seen of it, it looks alright. It looks pretty good, but I don't know a lot about it to keep it real with you. But you know,
Well, same, I mean, but I quite like that. I quite like the fact that I don't know much about it because like you kind of learn as you go.
right.
And like I'm obviously like I spend time on YouTube and I scroll through the shorts
Aye,
and the algorithm has kind of kicked some Peaky Blinders stuff into my shorts feed.
it's done that with me a few
So
times. Like I know what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, so like I've been watching like a few of those clips, and it does look like an amazing show. So yeah, we're gonna start watching that. Yeah,
Alright. Anything else you would like to last mentions or is that it?
yeah. That's it. I won't rabbit on too long about
No, it's all good. It's all good.
it.
Alright. I've actually seen this on Twitter a few times. I see you making the transition from a Quest to PSVR. Yeah. How you feeling about that? Because I remember when I first did that, and I was kind of, it's but how are you for it? Like, you excited to move?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. It comes back to what we were saying before. I think it's going to open up a lot of new possibilities for me.
Yeah.
I think it's going to enable me to kind of collaborate with people better, and I'm just going to be able to play much better games. Like as you'll know from a fellow PSVR user, we're quite restricted in terms
Yeah.
of the games that we can play, and b the gameplay itself, because you have to kind of stay in front of the camera and stuff. So I'm looking forward to kind of making the switch from in front of a camera and a wire to kind of
Aye.
a wireless
That's it.
console.
That's
Yeah.
aye. Well, to be fair, I've not been able to use my PSVR because my PlayStation 5 fucking wrecked itself like a week ago.
Oh,
No, but to be fair, I've not even used the PSVR that much because I have a Quest 2 now with Airlink and all that. But PSVR is really restrictive to what it comes to with the wires, with the camera, which is
yeah.
excuse my language, which is dog shit by the way, in my opinion, with my experience from it. But I don't even know like why they're really restricted on the games. Like they can do it. Like from what I've seen, like the PS4 is pretty capable of getting some good games in. But I don't know. It's pretty odd. But oh well. It's one of those mysteries.
Well, what was the main differences for you like when you first switched? Like,
Uh,
like how did you feel about it? Because
right.
I mean, like I should be taking advice from you here.
If we're talking like big changes, I could only really notice is graphics. Obviously, are going to take a big hit. But in my personal opinion,
Mm.
I really don't care about them. I mean, for God's sakes, I played Cyberpunk on like PS4 on launch day, and that was I didn't even notice much of the problems in that game. But if
Mm.
apart from graphic changes, achievements aren't really they don't matter as much as definitely what I can say. They don't have much of a you don't get like trophies and stuff like you do on PlayStation. Does that as well?
Ah,
It's
really?
it's an odd change, but honestly, yeah, when you think about it, in the sense of the Quest 2, it's not like a PlayStation. You don't really get a big sense of completion of getting trophies and stuff. It just really isn't in your face about it. Does that as
I
well?
wonder how.
Aye.
I wonder how they would incorporate that though. With a Quest 2 because like it's connected to Facebook, right?
Yeah, well, I don't think you
Well,
really need.
not anymore. Yeah, but
Aye, aye.
so yeah, I would wonder like how they would be able to incorporate a trophy system if they did. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I always love getting the trophies on my PS.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if there's anything. Really, the only big downside is creating a Facebook account because my my personal. I'm not gonna drag on for this, but I just don't support Facebook and what they do. So, but apart from that, you really it's a good experience. Overall, I enjoyed it with the Quest 2, and it really helps, like, if you get a PC or something and you start using Airlink, which basically literally just... It does even... It's pretty good. It's just...
Yeah,
The Quest 2 is alright. It's my main point with this. It's alright. Compared to PSVR, it's a 50-50. Some bits shine more in different headsets, but, that's just kind of it.
well, I think one thing that I'm really looking forward to for the Quest 2 is that the headset seems a lot lighter
It
than the
is.
PSVR's. Like the PSVR is very very heavy. So like
Uh,
if you're playing for a bunch of hours, you kind of have to take it off and give your neck a rest. You know what I mean? But
no, it's a lot
um,
more lighter from my experience. It's not as bad.
yeah, and then obviously the wireless aspect as well. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's some real cool stuff. Let me let me tell you that's some cool shit.
but like I've been reading though, like some of the control pads like they drift. Is that right?
My experience, I've not had a single bit of drift. Well, to be fair,
Nice.
like I'm very religious with cleaning my stuff.
Mm,
Like we
mm.
control because I remember for a good year my PS5 controller drifted like way too much, but I just kept soldiering on with it. But after that, I'm getting off topic again. My point being is my experience it doesn't drift as much, but it might just be down to how you handle your quest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So it's like yeah, it's like each case is different kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I understand.
but to be fair, I lost the straps, the what do you call them again? The wee things that you put on your wrist to make sure it doesn't
Oh
vibe. What's it called again?
yeah, the wrist straps.
The wrist straps. I lost those like day one. I have no idea where they are, but but
Hey.
I don't know how I lost it. But oh well. But Quest 2, yeah, it's fine. It's not that bad as much people try to make out to be.
No, that's fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Do you have any other favorite zombie games or anything that you like to talk about?
Ooh, zombie games. Well, I've already mentioned Call of Duty Black Ops. That
Aye.
that for me is what still stands up as one of the best zombie games ever for me. The
Aye.
Black Ops zombies.
I've never played Call of Duty Zombies to be honest with you.
You've never played.
Well, no,
Oh,
I'm not a fan of Call of Duty. I'm not a big fan of it, but the zombies does look good. I put like the tiniest bit of Black Ops 1 zombies with like a friend at the house on the
yeah.
360 with split screen. I enjoyed it, but Call of Duty as a whole is just not my thing. But who knows? I could give it another try one day, probably.
Yeah, you absolutely should. Yeah, because the zombies game is fantastic. It's really really good.
Is there like a game in particular, like a COD in particular, I should try out for its zombies mode, or is it just
Black Ops One, I would say for the maps. They recently recreated the maps for an updated Black Ops. I'm not quite sure which one it was. I think it's like Black Ops 3
right.
or 4 or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, they've recreated like all of the old maps, and the old maps are the best, to be honest. Like I've played like other Black Ops Zombies games, like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, and for me it just it kind of it lost what made zombies great in the first place. So yeah, I'll always still go back and play that. Left 4 Dead. I always enjoy playing Left 4 Dead.
No, that is an amazing game, man. No, like half of my Steam account is just Left 4 Dead things, like shop mods and all that type of stuff. It's like the main game I play, but that's a really good one.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead's quality. But like I'd love to play like other zombie games in the future as well. Maybe like VR as well.
Yeah, like Arizona Sunshine, After the Fall, and all this type of stuff. Those are pretty alright games from what I've played of them.
Yeah, Arizona Sunshine was fun. Arizona Sunshine, great playthrough, really, really great. I've not seen much of After the Fall, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. So yeah, I mean, I think Panic Packing, he's streamed it a few times, so I've watched that. Yeah. But yeah, like I've in terms of like knowing too much about like the backstory and the lore around that game, yeah, I don't know too much.
From what I know, there's not a lot of lore. It's more of just like current day stuff, and it never really explains how everything happens. But it's
just mindless zombie slaying violence.
It's just mindless zombie shit, but that's like some of the best type of zombie games in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. You could just go in and slay some zombies. It's brilliant.
I was actually gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's like one of the main reasons I actually like Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead, because it's just like you go to a place, you kill zombies, you get to a safe room, you did the exact same thing like 4 or 3 times, rinse and repeat for the whole game, and it just ends up being like so fun, like so mindless fun. I know, but yeah, that's definitely some of the best type of zombie games.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Completely agree.
Have you ever watched a TV show or read the comics, and if so, what do you actually think about it?
I've never read the comics. I've always wanted to though. But I do watch the TV show. Yeah. I think
good?
Like
is it good? Later seasons wise, I'm personally asking here because I'm like only on season 3 and I gave up. But like, is it good? Like once it keeps going,
I would say.
What you say?
I'd say maybe like season 1 to season 9 are really good, really really good. But like, kind of, I won't spoil it for you. But there's this kind of something that happens like later on down the line, and like it kind of killed it a little bit for me. But I still watch it for love of the show. I still think it stands up there as one of the best TV shows ever made. It's fantastic, really really good. But yeah, like, and you've got characters like legendary characters like Rick Grimes and Negan, and just like really really powerful villains like the Governor, and just like the Governor. I hated that guy. I hated that guy. I'm not even joking. I did. I hated him. But yeah, it would kind of be nice to kind of read the comics as well and see the differences from the TV show to the comics, because apparently Daryl doesn't even exist in the comics.
I've read a little bit of the comics, and I did not see him once for like a good portion of it, actually, if I'm really remembering here.
Yeah, I'm sure he was just a character created for the TV show, and I kind of like that they've kind of gone their own way, and made it like a little bit different, while kind of at the same time still staying sort of true to the source material. So yeah, that
as long as the creator's happy. What's his name again? Like Robert Kirkman or something?
Oh yeah.
As long as he's happy with the vision it's going, then it's win for most people in that case.
Well, there's a lot of spin-offs coming as well.
Like the Rick and Michonne series that I keep hearing about. It's apparently coming out sometime in the next few months, years or so.
It's been a long time coming. I mean, like they've been promising a movie for 3 years.
I didn't like they cancelled the movie like only like a few days ago or something in favor of that type of stuff.
Well, this is it. I mean, like, because he said like you're gonna get like a Rick Grimes movie, and then it was like I think it was going to be like a trilogy of movies, and then bang, you just heard nothing,
Yeah, like
absolutely
radio
nothing.
silence for God knows how long.
Literally years, radio silence, and like yeah, and then obviously the announcement comes out a few weeks ago that Rick and Michonne are going to be doing like a spin-off, and then you've got
Aye.
Negan and Maggie's spin-off as well, Daryl's spin-off in France, which is a really random one for me. So you know, like it seems like they are creating a proper universe, and then of course you've got like Fear the Walking Dead and Tales of the Walking Dead.
And all that type of stuff as well. You got a lot of. It's a very profitable franchise. Is the best way to put all this.
Well, exactly, and then obviously, you know, it goes even further and comes back to what we were talking about with the games and
They have
stuff.
games,
You know,
comics. You know what? While we're actually on the topic of games, I want to ask you two extra questions.
sure.
The Telltale series. Have you ever played it, and what do you think of it?
I have not played it, but I have watched content around it. It
Oh,
looks great.
mate,
It
you should
does
play
look
it.
great
You really should get to it at some point. It's amazing.
because it's not VR though, right? It's
Oh,
not VR.
no, it's not VR, but it really makes up for it, like, with its writing, characters. It's really got some sad moments. Some tears were shed during my playthrough. It's a really, all in all, it's a game. It's like really good. It's a little bit better than Saints and Sinners, if I'm gonna keep it real with you here. If I'm being honest with you.
I mean, there's another content creator that I watch that makes like Walking Dead content, Gregory O'Mahony, and he does like a lot of Walking Dead stuff. And he's played through the Telltale series, and he does like lore videos on the characters and stuff. Is it Clementine?
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of videos on her and stuff. So yeah, like he kind of got me into the game a little bit. So yeah, it would be nice to kind of play through that in future, I think, and yeah, maybe give that a go. That'd be good.
Right. We're going for the one who shall not be named here, the Walking Dead Onslaught, aka the worst fucking video game.
Oh,
What do you think
mate,
of it? If you've even seen gameplay or heard of it or played it, what do you think of it?
I have seen gameplay. I've never been tempted to play it myself. I've got to be
Thank
completely
you.
honest with you.
Praise the Lord that you don't want to play it, man. It sucks shit.
Yeah, it
terrible.
looks it looks terrible, and
It is literally just like a big string of unkept promises, broken game design, the most boring story, gameplay loop, all that shit. Never play. I'm warning you at this point. Never fucking
yeah,
play it. It's
mate, I will be taking that advice to heart.
I discord anybody. Alright, you know what? Hold up. If you're watching this shit, do not buy Walking Dead Onslaught. It's a terrible game. I've wasted my money twice on it, and I regret it, and I can't even refund it, for God's sakes.
Oh, mate.
I cannot even get those precious moments back. Alright. Okay.
The thing that stood out for me as quite bizarre is like they got voice actors for some characters,
Aye.
but then got like the original voices for others. So I was like, well, I don't quite understand that. It's like you either go all the way with it or you don't do it at all. You use like voice actors for it, or you use the actual characters. Do you know what I mean by that?
No, I get where you're coming from, but like, to be honest, like, they kind of doomed themselves from the start, like when they're really trying to build a Walking Dead game in the TV universe, which kind of has like a lot of, I don't want to say plot holes, but it has a lot of flaws to it, and it's kind of like odd because Survios is like a cool ass studio. They've made, like, for example, Creed Rise to Glory, like you said, that's an amazing game, and
Yeah.
it's just so bizarre to me how such a cool company can make such a terrible game. It's not even like they were, like, I don't know, going under like bad work conditions. The game was
No.
delayed for like 2 years straight, lost its multiplayer mode. It was so bizarre to. All right, I'm going quite wild in my head here with this big rant. This is being said for a video someday, but point being is, do not buy the Walking Dead Onslaught, because I'm really going to start getting more angry and angry the more I talk about it. Let's just move on to Let's move on to chapter 2. Let's move on to
and
chapter 2.
breathe. And breathe.
All right, mate.
It's okay.
All right, mate. I get. Okay. Hold up. I'm gonna get my fucking can here and open it. I need to actually calm down. Hold up.
Of course.
Oh my god. All right. Let's move on to chapter 2 questions, because we're getting closer and closer to this here. Okay.
Yeah.
Get the notes out. Alright, chapter 2. What was your first reaction to it? Because I know you made a video about it, like, mate, I cannot believe. No, I remember your video. You sounded really excited, but like, coming looking back now, like, are you still excited like, as you were before for it?
I would say more so now. Now that we've seen 2 trailers for it, and like we're kind of getting more of an idea as to what to expect, and,
Yeah.
and the little nuggets of information that they're throwing us, and like the screenshots of the chainsaw, for example.
Aye.
I am so excited. But apparently the rumours are that we've got another trailer to come before we find out when the release date actually is, which I think obviously it's going to be closer to the end of the year, maybe like October, November time. I would imagine.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the main theory is it's either November, October, or December, because I do not believe in one way hell that it's going to come out in September or August. No way that's happening. But yeah, no, yeah,
We've been wrong before, but
it's a bigger project though, so I feel like we could be right in saying that there's a good chance it's not going to be coming out this year in general, because it could be delayed for all we know.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we of course we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I would like to think they're going to launch it close to the holiday season, just to kind of boost sales as well, because like a lot of people are going to want to get that game for Christmas or something like that.
And maybe even like drive up headset sales and all that type of stuff, because
yeah, precisely.
I'm pretty sure like the whole thing with Saints Row is you could just buy a headset for that game and pretty good money, a bang for your buck. It was, you get for example, now you have a Quest 2, you can just get that, and then you get Saints and Sinners, and then you got yourself like a really good experience there. And yeah, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, a holiday release would be really good in Skydance's favour.
Well, I mean, and they have been saying on the on the trailers that it's coming this year. It's released in 2022. So I would expect, like obviously towards the end of the year, maybe like October, November time, I reckon.
Yeah. Let's just hope it's not an Aftershocks case. It gets delayed like 3 days before the game comes out or something like that. Let's just hope it's not as bad. But I don't know. I really don't want to sit here and say like the release date is this year, because getting expectations that high and for it to be delayed would be pretty shitty. So I don't know. It's just something I don't. Not a big fan of it.
Well, that might be why we haven't been given a release date as of yet. So they can make sure everything is bang ready to go for the time that they announce it, and they'll go, right, okay, this is the release date. It's definitely coming. Get ready, kind of thing.
Yeah, not fair enough. Yeah. All right. Next question. Would you rather like the game just get a sequel, or the first game get more DLC expansions to really build up the lore more and more? Like, what would you rather have?
I mean, I'm loving the fact that we are getting another game, but I would be lying if I said that I wouldn't have liked to have seen more DLCs for the first Saints and Sinners. Obviously, we got the meat. Yeah. We got the meat grinder update, obviously, and then we got Aftershocks. It would have been nice to kind of seen more.
Aye.
Well, of course. I mean, but that's just me personally.
I completely agree, because I'm pretty sure when the PS4 physical version was like leaked online or something, apparently there's like a season pass that was going to come with it, and who knows, maybe the original concept was like more DLC to come, but who knows, maybe the success of Aftershocks really kind of sorry about that. Brought up spirits to actually get out a sequel. So who knows? Maybe the good sales really did is a blessing for us to get a sequel. But aye.
Well, here's a question for you: if you could have added a DLC to the game, what would you like to have seen?
All right, let me actually think here, because to be fair, like throughout the year, I've been like really like since I started the channel, I've been thinking about like if Chapter 1 was to get more DLC, how would that go? But if there's anything I really like top of the list, I would probably say a nightmare mode or a new game plus mode, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Because I know it seems so small to compare of what I could actually want, but I don't know, like I feel like new game plus for Saints and Sinners would have been really cool, because you obviously have the mods now that like you can get like a complete full workbenches done,
Yeah,
full loot, day one type stuff. But an official new game plus mode or like an actual harder difficulty would have really brought my spirits. That's like the only thing I really would like Chapter 1 to get. Well,
it's a good idea. It's a really good
aye,
idea. Or if they made like like when the bells ring, if they would have made that a little bit more difficult, I think would have
aye,
sufficed for
aye,
sure. I mean, because like for me personally, like playing on PSVR, like fair enough, like you'll come across like a few clusters of
aye,
zombies, but like for the most part, especially if you are well equipped, it's quite easy to deal with.
yeah.
You know, and especially if you are a seasoned player like yourself and myself, you know,
Aye,
like
like
if
me and
you
you,
have the
like we've been playing for, like since like the PSVR release. Like we're kind of well known to what the game's like. But you know what's I don't know. The Veils are just too easy, in my
yeah.
complete honest opinion.
I mean, for a first time gamer, you know, stepping
No,
into
yeah,
the world for the
fair enough.
first time, of course, like yeah, it's obviously going to be a little bit more challenging. But for somebody that's done a few playthroughs and kind of knows how the game mechanics work
Yeah,
and what to do in those situations, especially like we were saying before, if you have played through the trial, then you know you're much more well equipped to be able to deal with something like that. So that's I would say that's one thing I'm really looking forward to in Chapter 2 is actually seeing how to deal with those hordes when you've
yeah,
got like 20 or 30 or 40 coming at you at any one time. That's something that really excites me because it's just like, well, this is where we're going to see what players can really do,
right.
you know.
You know what? Bringing back up the what would I like to see in if the game was to get more DLC. See
Mm,
if multiplayer was to come out at some point. Something I would like to see is in the game Dying Light. There's a game mode called Be the Zombie, which is basically a zombie. You play as a zombie and you go up against like four other players. I'd really like to see something like that instead of like an alpha zombie, because isn't like something like that in the TV show or something? There's like a I don't know, an mega zombie or something. It's just like a lot more smart than the rest or something like that.
That is an awesome idea. That's
Yeah,
a really good idea. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant.
that would like really like bring new opportunities like a PvP mode and all that type of stuff. Like that's like definitely something that I would really like to see at some point, like just like some sort of player versus player mode. Because I'm being honest, I really think Satan Says could work well if it had like not a battle royale mode. I'm not
Yeah,
suggesting that to be specific, right? I'm not suggesting that, but it really it'd be like you know what? Here's another good comparison. I'd really like to see something
mm,
like the Last of Us factions, if you've ever played it. That is something which is basically like a 4v4 mode, like where you go and scavenge for supplies and kill
mm.
other players. And you had like, team deathmatch, all that type of stuff. That would be something else that'd be pretty alright for Saints and Sinners. So, and you could have the whole faction system, like, Tower, Reclaims and all that go against each other. But I'm pretty,
Yeah.
yeah, that, that is something that I would like to see, yeah.
Same. Like I touched on this in my multiplayer video as well. If multiplayer was a game mode,
Yeah.
and like kind of expanding on that concept, it would be nice for us to kind of create our own factions or our own clans. Do you know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
go alongside like the Tower and the Reclaimed and stuff. Like obviously make it tasteful and stuff. Like
Aye, of course.
like of course, but I think that yeah, if they are going to kind of incorporate any kind of multiplayer mode, then yeah, it would be nice to kind of have a little bit of variation rather than just the trial. It would be nice to, I mean, maybe not necessarily PvP mode like we were saying,
Yeah,
but
aye, of course, of course.
like just something similar. Maybe like the zombie mode concept, like you said, like maybe just have a zombie in an Axeman suit or something like that,
Aye,
just roaming around. Like just to make you much more difficult to
aye.
kill. Yeah, that would be quality. And then obviously, like I don't know if in the game mode that you were talking about, like if you catch one of the players, do they become a zombie as well?
No, they're just dead. Like you basically. Well, that is actually a good idea though. The more people you kill, the more zombies that join you. It's kind of like a. It's very similar stuff. I don't know what, but my point. No, I get where you're coming from, but no, it's just if you kill somebody, there's like a certain amount of lives, like 10. If you kill
Mm.
10 people, then the mode's over. But the other players like destroy hives, nests, all that type of stuff to like really. And once that's done, you basically like have to kill the zombie, and then you win. Obviously, it's just
Yeah.
aye. But
So, but
aye.
it would be nice to kind of expand on that, really. Like if they were to do like a zombie mode, then yeah, like make it if you get caught by the zombie, then you become a zombie as well,
Aye.
and then it's just like a kind of like a last man standing kind of thing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That would be badass.
That'd be fucking awesome. Alright, alright. What are you most excited about for Chapter 2? Like, what's, like, the thing that's like, alright, this game's gonna be radical? Like, what's, like, the thing that's really getting you excited for it?
I would say, that's a tough one. Seeing the tower.
Wait, really?
Actually, like, oh, for sure, mate. I mean, like, ever since I've been playing this game, I have wanted to go to the tower. I've wanted to go, and I've wanted to see what it's like inside, and have a roam around, and especially like with the lore surrounding like how the tower was took in the first place, and things like that. Like for me, that is really appealing to me. So the fact that we actually get to go there in chapter 2,
Yeah.
it excites the fuck out of me. I'm not even joking. Like it really does. It really does. It's going to be fantastic. I can't actually wait. I can't wait.
Well, the tower will definitely have like a bigger focus because you have the whole them trying to take over the French Quarter, so we'll definitely see a lot more of them. Aye, definitely, no doubt about that.
What about you? What are you excited about for the sequel? Like, is there anything that's standing out for you in particular?
It's a lot of small things coming together to just make me really excited. Like, Chainsaw, the Hordes, the new story, the pawn shop. It's just like a lot of little things coming up to make one big thing. It's just, at the end of the day, I'm just really excited to play more of Saints and Sinners because it's a game that's truly amazing. It's really got me through some tough times. So I'm just
Yeah.
excited to see more and more of it come just it's like it's just like the whole thought of like seeing Satan Sinners become like a whole franchise, and Chapter 2 could be like a Kickstarter for that. It's just something that really like gets me excited for the future. I'm just excited to play more of it. That's like that's just me.
Nighttime roaming as well. Nighttime roaming.
That as well. That
Wait for that. Cannot wait.
That's gonna be some scary shit with the hordes and everything tonight. That's just gonna be. Oh, I'm just imagining now going like Rampart or something at night, and then you see like a whole horde of zombies inside the school. That's just, oh Jesus Christ, man! That's just gonna be something.
Well, this is it. I mean, like, because it does seem like we're going to be out quite a lot in the evening. Like we've only really seen like clips from like the French Quarter, and then obviously like
the only time we've even seen nighttime is just like in by water, like nowhere else. That's the only place we've even seen a nighttime.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be very interesting to see like how they incorporate that into the storyline, and obviously like the sewage systems as well, which is very interesting. And then you've obviously got the flares and stuff. So yeah, that's it's just I can't wait. It's going to be mad. It's actually going to be mad.
It gets like so excited just talking about it, just like thinking about what's to come. It's just amazing. It really is. I cannot get over of like how excited I am for this game.
That's so true, mate. So true.
Alright. I feel like it is too early to ask this type of question, but if the game like was to receive some like DLC post-launch content, what would you want to see for it?
Well, I'm not. Well, obviously, like I'm not sure how the storyline is going to go.
Let's say without the storyline, just like post-launch content in general. Like, what would you like to see? Like, it doesn't even need to be like related to the story, if you want.
Well, yeah, I mean, it comes back to what we were saying before about the post-game content in Saints and Sinners 1.
Like 2 big content updates, and that was kind of it. There was
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be nice to kind of see like some more side missions and give you an excuse to actually go into the game rather than having to find ways to keep the game fresh for yourself. You know what I mean? Like the death squads roaming around and the people camping the buildings and stuff is great. Yeah. And then obviously you've got the exiles. But maybe expand more on the exiles. Maybe like go and help them out, and they give you something to do. Right. Like in the very first mission where you have to go into the attic and kill that lady's husband.
To get the ring and all that, and then you find out her husband killed the children. That type of stuff is like that could be really cool for an expansion type stuff. Like just like help out a bunch of exiles and like really bringing new sides to the tourist. Like
precisely.
like to your
Like
choice.
a mission like that would fit perfectly post game.
Yeah,
Just, do you know what I mean? Like,
you know,
it
I get
just
it.
if you're interacting with the exiles rather than just giving them bandages, maybe they send you to go and get something for them, and in return, like they'll give you supplies and stuff. But it keeps it fresh for you, doesn't it? Like it still gives you like a purpose to go and play those games. So yeah, if there was anything that I would love to see like post game for chapter 2, it would be things like that, just to give you an excuse to carry on playing, really.
Yeah, you know, definitely. All right. Hold up, sorry. Do you have
No,
any?
that's fine.
Do you have any theories you'd like to share? Like any ideas of what the story could be like? You'd like to share? Like anything?
Well, I've been thinking a lot
Okay.
about
Okay.
like what what we're going to expect, and kind of like trying to tie the bunker together with the trailers and things like that.
Yeah.
I've already mentioned in my breakdown of the Retribution trailer that I think Mama is connected somehow to the bunker just because of the burns on her arm, and then
Yeah.
they're on the same side as the armor, and that's all like burnt and blown away.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they're mutually exclusive,
Aye.
but
Aye. Of course.
like I do think that they are connected in some way. And then I started to think a lot about why the tourist is in the tower talking to Mama in the first place.
Well,
And
I'm not sure about it, but like, do you think like that's actually the tourist actually talking to her? Because like that could just be like for cinematic purposes. Like I don't think like there's a good chance he might not even be there, but you know.
it seems that Mama is addressing the tourist directly though
Aye,
in
no,
that
fair enough.
trailer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
No, fair enough.
she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"You who
Yeah.
came to the bayou," and
Yeah.
all that. So, do you know what I mean? Like,
No, no, I get
it's a
where you're coming
terrible
from. Yeah, that's
impression, I
alright.
know.
You know what? No, I'm not continuing with that. Sorry, but that was on me.
So, then like I started to think like a lot more about that, and I was like, why is the tourist stood in Mama's office talking to her directly? And it kind of got me to thinking, like I said, this is literally just a theory. I'm
Yeah,
not saying that this is what it's going to be
It's
like,
all
but
speculation from this point on. Aye.
well, exactly. But my personal feeling is, I think Mama and the Axeman are enemies, and Mama recruits the tourist to take out the Axeman.
You know, this actually got me thinking at some point because you know how in the bunker, obviously the Axeman statue has like burns on its arms and all that. In
Yes.
the trailer, we obviously see a very different version of him. Like he's all completely covered up, like
Yeah.
all. I was actually really starting to think the Axeman was not a singular person, a lot more than like an actual thing to each faction. Because like you could have like the Tower Axeman, because like the Axeman could just be like a title given to people. Because the Axeman we saw in the MetaQuest debut trailer, whatever the hell it was called,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really starting to think that Axeman was like a lot more dedicated to the Reclaimed more than he was the Tower. This is all speculation, but I'm really starting to think it's a lot more than just like it's not a singular person. It's a lot more than a title given to people in communities.
Right. Right. So almost like a bunch of people.
It's like a bunch of people called the Axeman, and like they'll have like their very reasons to why they're like him.
Well, it's interesting that you should say that. I mean, because like the law of the real Axeman, like, because obviously he was never caught. Nobody knew who he was.
It's
Like, and
big speculation to who he actually was in the first place.
well, exactly, and a lot of people did speculate that it was the work of not just one person but a bunch of people.
Aye.
So that's quite an interesting theory. That, but like, yeah, for me personally, I think Mama wants to take out the Axeman. Maybe the Axeman's done something to kind of threaten the tower. And Mama recruits the tourist. But like I said, that's literally just a theory. I'm just trying to trying to piece things together as best that I can.
Yeah, I feel like Season 6 players should really realize I'm going to say this right now. 10 Season 6 players out there, the Axeman is a real fucking person. He is not made by Skydance Interactive. The Axeman was like a whole thing way back, guys. So, a quick reminder: he is not Season 6 related completely. It was a whole thing. But I
Well,
thought,
it was like
aye,
1918, wasn't it?
it was
Something like that,
1918.
1918.
Aye, somewhere about there. But I really like how they're really going in depth with the whole New Orleans thing, because obviously the first Season like debuts the first time The Walking Dead goes to like NOLA or something like that, or just like New Orleans in general. I
Yeah,
really like they're really leading into it with the whole Axeman thing, the French Quarter. I really like the direction they're going with the world that they've created. In game,
they
that
have.
is.
Yeah.
They did not create the French Quarter, obviously. Well, that makes
But no,
sense.
they've shown a lot of respect to the culture of New Orleans.
Yeah, really.
You know, like there's a lot of references to the actual city itself. You know, like the Joan of Arc statue in the trailer, for
Aye.
example. The gumbo, the jambalaya, the city's well-known affiliation with voodoo. You know, like the
Aye.
list goes on, and you can show that they've put a
Aye.
lot of effort
They have a lot of
into kind
respect
of.
to the city. I like in general.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. And
Aye.
you know, it's another reason why the game is as well received as it is. I think because you know, like especially like people who are from New Orleans who play the game. You know, like the attention to detail in like the graveyard, for example,
Aye.
and obviously the tower and stuff. Like they have really stayed true to what New Orleans is as a city, I feel. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like through playing this game, it's even made me want to go and visit New Orleans one day. So
Really?
you know, oh mate, I would love to. Could you imagine the content that I'd be able to create around that? Like I would literally, I'd go and I'd visit some of these spots in real life. That is one thing that I would love to do for this channel one day. And you know, who knows, like with where we're going, like one day I could be big enough to actually make enough money to go there and
Like maybe like
create that.
YouTubers all to go to New Orleans or something and just like have a big fuck around there.
Mate, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Can you imagine the boys in New Orleans? Let's go.
Oh my god,
Come on.
that would be amazing. I could just imagine like Skydance like doing like this whole event like where you go to New Orleans or something to play like the game early to like content creators. That would be some cool shit, man.
Saints and Sinners Fest.
Oh,
Let's go.
that would be some amazing stuff, man. But you know,
Mate, that would be
oh my
quality.
god,
That would be quality, yeah. Like get all the boys in New Orleans. That would be sick. Yes, let's go.
That would just be something.
You heard it here first, people. You heard it here first. Saints and Sinners Fest.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, guys. Saints and Sinners is real now. It is becoming real.
But no, like I think you make a very good point though, mate. Like I think they've worked very very hard to show a lot of respect.
They're really to what makes New Orleans what it is. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Would you? All right. So after Chapter 2 comes out, would you rather long-term support for Chapter 2, like years worth of support, or would you rather a Chapter 3 come out and like Saints and Sinners go into the whole route of just releasing sequels a few years after a few years? Because
well, go on, mate. Go on.
I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard about Chapter 2, I was a little bit disappointed, to keep it honest with you here, because I don't know. I feel like since the first game did not have its time to shine as much as it did, because like if they kept building on what Saints and Sinners is with the original, I really think we could have had like a lot more going for it. But I'm not against the idea of a sequel. I really should say that right now. I don't hate that the game's getting a sequel, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm really kind of worried that Saints and Sinners will go in the route of like releasing sequels year after year after year, which will be kind of I don't know. It's not my preferred type of game things, but you know. But on you go. Sorry, rambled on.
No,
on you go.
I completely agree. You know, it's like obviously there was going to be like a little bit of skepticism when they announced like a whole new game, but I think like the things that look to have been promised for us have kind of nipped that in the bud a little bit. Obviously, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more expansion for Saints and Sinners Chapter 1, like we've spoke about earlier on in the chat. But you know, I'm certainly not going to say no to more support long term for Chapter 2 and another game in the future. You know, like for me, the more content that we get, the better it's going to be for everybody in the community and for anybody that plays the game as well. And they really do seem to be creating something that is going to leave a legacy. So I don't think it's going to be the end at Chapter 2 at all. I think the more VR expands and the better the technology becomes, I think is going to benefit the game massively. they don't look to have changed too much between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 in terms of the way that we play the game. It seems to be staying true to the source material. So yeah, like I'm happy that we're getting another game. I was buzzing when it was announced, and yeah, long may it continue.
What was I gonna say? It was funny. I was actually gonna say something about the excitement part for the game. I'm never gonna play the PSVR 2 at any point, but I'm really excited to see like the technology that can be associated with sensors, like with the whole haptic feedback and all that type of stuff. I really feel like that could really bring Skydance to like a whole nother level. Like if they got involved, like we're creating like more technology for the game. Because obviously they're obviously advancing the engine, the Unreal Engine port to the game a little bit, because obviously they have bigger zombie hordes, new stuff like that. I'm really excited for the technology and all that they're really bringing in for this type of stuff.
Well, I think they needed to kind of up the game, to kind of hype up Chapter 2 and make it bigger and better than Saints and Sinners 1. I mean, because like we were saying before, that the game still stands up at its point now as one of the best on the market.
Yeah, 2 years later, it's still going strong. Seriously.
Well, exactly. So adding stuff like haptic feedback into that, and then especially with the introduction of PSVR 2, which is looking like
it seems like even better than PC VR technology, which is that is just a big bar to set. But it really seems like they're keeping to their word. It's gonna be some advanced technology.
But from the hype around it, apparently it's going to be a game changer for the entire industry. That's from what I'm seeing on Twitter and on forums and things like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah,
it's looking like it's going to change the entire industry and encourage everybody to kind of up their games in terms of like VR development and stuff, which is only good for us. It's only good for us.
Of course. Alright, what's like your expectations for Chapter 2? Like, are you setting like any expectations? Like, what's the bar for you? Like what is your expectations for this game?
Well, I think it's just going to be bigger and better. I think it's going to be kind of Saints and Sinners on steroids, if you know what I mean. Like saying before, I don't think they've strayed too far away from what made the game great in the first place. I just think they've built on it and added more. Like they seem to have really listened to the community, and the hype around the game is unbelievable. So I can't wait to throw myself into it. In terms of like any expectations, I'm trying to hold off, if you know what I mean.
Really don't set yourself up for something that could maybe not be as good as we're hoping. But obviously, it's just we just have to wait and see. We still have to actually see raw gameplay footage. Still. So it's all just waiting game. Like I've said a few times, we just need to see what happens.
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Of course. All right. Any new weapons that you're really excited to see for Chapter 2?
The chainsaw. Oh my god, the chainsaw. My god.
Oh, it was amazing. Holy jeez, man. God damn.
Mate, there's going to be so many Doomslayer memes going around for Saints and Sinners Chapter 2. I swear to God, I'm going to pump out a few of them myself, I think. The sawn-off shotgun looks awesome.
It looks fine, yeah.
Like I like the weapon design. It does look very, very cool, and obviously the user as well. Like the user is great. I'd love to see a grenade launcher. I think we will need it in terms of the increase in hordes and stuff.
Right.
So,
but they need to keep it balanced though. Like you were saying with a Nova shotgun, it's basically just a cheat code at most times. You're not really getting any challenge out of the game, so you really need to keep it, balanced, so you're not basically going through easy mode.
Yeah, I completely agree. So maybe make it a one shot before you have to reload it, or something like that.
Than most weapons, definitely.
Yeah, precisely. So I mean, if they were going to incorporate something like that, then I think you would have to kind of give the weapon some sort of balance. Like you couldn't make it like a 3 or a 4 shot or something like that, or make like the blast radius a little bit a little bit higher. So like if you're shooting it too far close, then you are going to take some damage from it as well. You know, there's little things that perhaps could be done. But yeah, personally, I think with the increase in hordes and stuff, I would like to see a grenade launcher just to kind of make it a little bit more balanced. But yeah,
of course. Any new gameplay mechanics you'd like to see in Chapter 2? Like, obviously we've seen nighttime, that type of stuff. Like, would you like to see anything new if you could add it in?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, like it seems to like I said, like the building quite heavily on what we had originally, which I think is good. I think the introduction of the sewage systems is going to be very, very interesting. Like finding manholes throughout the city to go and like get to other points in the city, I think is going to be fantastic. So yeah, like in terms of like me personally wanting to introduce anything else into the game, I would say that I'd have to play the game first.
Yeah,
and
a lot of these questions are kind of, we need to actually play the game first to get, but it's fair to ask, at least, to see what people think.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Like it's definitely worth asking the question for sure. But just for me personally, I would have to play the game before I could kind of think of ways to kind of not necessarily improve on it, but to kind of like make it. Yeah, precisely. I mean, like because I'm not saying that Chapter 2 is going to be a perfect game. I think it's going to be pretty fucking good, but
it's gonna be really good, but like it's not gonna be peak fiction or some shit. It's gonna be good, but it's not gonna be the Godfather of VR games, for God's sakes. It's gonna be good, but it's not gonna be that good. A lot of people really need to realize that before they play it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I still think it's going to be an outstanding game because Saints and Sinners 1 is an outstanding game. But I'm not gonna sit here and blow smoke and say that it's going to be the best thing that's ever been created because literally we don't know. It might be, but
there's always the really bad chance that it's not even going to be that good. Like there's always that really unfortunate timeline.
Yeah, but considering the effort that Skydance have looked to have put into the game and with how they developed Chapter 1, I'm not sitting here feeling like I'm going to be disappointed from what we've been given so far. I do think it's going to be an outstanding game.
Yeah, of course. Okay. All right. Would you like to see any characters return? Like, obviously we know the Tortoise is coming back, but like past characters like Casey, May, Georgia, JB, like any of them, like would you like to see them all return, or like anyone's in specific?
I mean, like these are the characters that have formed an integral part of the story. So I would love to see them all return in some format, and even
if it's just like a slight reference or something, at least they're acknowledging their existence.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be absolutely fuming if we can't access JB's radio broadcasts. Because so like for me personally, like that is one of the most enjoyable things, like like just sticking the radio on when you're doing your recycling and stuff like that, listening to him and his monologues, and then the soundtrack for the game as well. I think the music is phenomenal.
The soundtrack is like banging for the game, like it is something else.
So it would be nice.
Amazing parts of that.
Even if we got like one of one of those portable wind-up radios where you could
No, continue. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, have you ever played Fallout?
I was actually going to say that, like the Pip Boy from Fallout. That'd be a really cool addition for something like Saints and Sinners.
Precisely. So like if you find like a little wind-up radio and stuff, and you can just go about New Orleans like blasting
walkies and all that as well. Like, I'm pretty sure like you can play radio stations and all that type of stuff on them, so it could always be a mechanic. And I really feel Skydance are really good at listening to their fans, so
yeah,
who knows, might be a chance.
But it would be nice to kind of see all of the characters return in some form. I think especially like what we were saying before about the saves that you've made in your first game are going to impact how the storyline goes in chapter 2. So yeah, for example, if you didn't kill Georgia, it would be nice to see her return in some format. If you didn't kill Casey, it'd be nice to link back up with him as well. I'd love to be able to do that because Casey's my boy. But but I would love to see them all back, and the introduction of some new characters as well. Like I've spoke about this previously. Like with the messages that we've got in Aftershocks. Like I'd love to see who the Skinner is for the Reclaimed, for example. People like that. Like the just like people that have got a lot of mystery surrounding them. It'd be nice to see that expanded on a little bit more, and to come across these people and see what they're all about. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see if we can actually have a conversation with the Axeman. That would that would be something else, man. If we got to have something like that, that'd be terrifying.
Where do you think he's from? Because I can't place his accent. Because I thought he sounded like Eastern European.
I'm gonna be honest, mate. I'm the smartest tool in the shed, so I don't really know how accents usually go. But if I would, I can't say myself. I really don't believe he's from New Orleans in general. There's no way. No ways in chance. He obviously seems to be a big fan of the Axeman himself, but no, I don't really. I wouldn't know where he's from, even if I really wanted to try. To be honest with you, but I really don't know, mate. I can't give you an answer to that one.
No. I mean, I've been trying to kind of trying to place the accent, and I thought maybe he's like Eastern European.
Aye.
Like maybe like Russian or something like that, because like he's got a. Do you know what I mean? So I really don't know.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
Who knows? Who knows? Alright. How do you think your chapter 1 save will affect your chapter 2 save? Because in my opinion, I think it's just going to be down to all the weapons you've crafted, all your tools and all that. You get to keep them, and obviously down to who you killed and who you didn't. But how do you think it will go?
I think the choices that you make in the first game are going to impact the storyline from the second, as we were saying earlier. I think that Walking Dead Saints and Sinners has always been very much based on the choices the individual person makes playing the game.
That's like his main advertisement, so.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole Saints and Sinners concept. So I think for chapter 2, I would love to see them really, really expand on that. And like we were saying about the characters as well, I think that's going to have an effect. Who you killed and who you didn't is going to impact like who you come across in chapter 2 and who you don't. So yeah, I mean, I'm just super, super excited to throw myself into the game and kind of see how it does impact it. But yeah.
Alright, getting really close to the end of this, but alright, the tourist. Do you think he should stay as the protagonist, or do you think he should be killed off and we should be introduced to a new character? Like, what do you think about that?
Wow, I'd not even thought about the tourist being killed off. That's crazy.
Say your choices will actually affect your own fate, so there is a really good chance that he may not even survive the whole thing. Because that was actually a video idea I had once. I was really trying to discuss the whole, is the tourist actually going to be able to survive the French Quarter and all the new challenges, or is he just going to have plot immunity and he'll be absolutely fine by the end of it? But I mean, it's a really odd thing to think about, isn't it? Because not a lot of people actually know if he'll stay alive or not. But what do you think?
I mean, I personally can't imagine Saints and Sinners franchise without the tourist. Now, like he's become such a
big part of it. He's obviously the main character, so killing off a main character isn't really usually received well. So who knows?
Exactly. I mean, he's a huge part of the city, and with the notoriety surrounding him as well, like it's going to take a lot to take the tourist down in the storyline. I think but yeah, I mean, maybe it would be nice to see the introduction of a new character. Maybe like if it gave you the option to kind of choose the tourist or to choose somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe for like a chapter 3 thing. But yeah, I mean. If you're asking me personally, I'd be heartbroken if the tourist died. Oh mate, that'd cut me up. That'd cut me up. That's not good. No,
that'd be some touch. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's really hard to think the game without him. No, I get where you're coming from because
yeah,
we've just grown like so. Because to be fair, we haven't heard his voice in a long time, no, because he didn't even talk once throughout Aftershocks. So,
no,
but I really feel like his personality should be given a lot more depth if they want people to care about him a lot more. Because pretty sure like one of the main criticisms towards season series was Taurus was very just more of a self-insert character more than an actual guy with a personality, but. It's
yeah.
just teach your own. to bring
I,
to
th-
bring
I
to bring it back up, aye.
I think that will change obviously in chapter two, as the storyline and as the lore evolves.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think we'll see the tourist interact with a lot of people. Like we've been saying before, Skydance really seems to listen to the community
yeah,
and stuff. So I would personally, I would love to see the tourists like having a few more conversations with people and just having the freedom to be able to make those choices that are gonna bring the game forward. So
yeah.
yeah,
All right. Last question of today. Do you?
mate.
I know. Do you think there should be a new zombie type for chapter two? Because obviously they have to keep it very. What's the word? They have to keep it very true to the source material of the comics, because
Yeah.
that's where obviously Season takes place. But if there were to add new zombie types, would you like to see one, and if so, which type?
Um. Well, I mean, like we've already got the smelly zombies, I call them. The infected zombies.
Like the had a lot more into the virus type ones, where they're a lot more smelly and very more decayed as actual zombies.
Yes.
Then you also have the ones that have their guts exposed and all that type of stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah.
aye,
I mean, obviously, I'd love to see them make a return. And like we were talking before about, Daryl's spin off in France.
yeah.
Apparently, there's going to be running zombies
Ooh,
and more intelligent zombies that can like open doors and things like that. That have actually some kind of cognitive function. So maybe it'd be
aye,
nice to see that incorporated in some aspect. Instead of like smashing the doors down, you've got zombies that can actually open doors instead.
aye.
Like that, like just little things like that. I think would be good if they were to introduce any new zombie types. I'm not quite sure runners would go over well in the Saints and Sinners universe just
Yeah.
because of how the stamina works for the tourist.
And like how closed the
So
maps are, so it'd be kind of, I don't know, be a little bit finicky to actually try to get away from them, considering how like closed in all the maps are.
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, maybe not runners, but like
Aye,
maybe more intelligent zombies. I think would probably be
yeah,
my answer to that question. If they were going to add any new zombie types, that would be quite
aye.
cool. Yeah.
It would be pretty cool to see like sentient zombies or something like that. Like they're actually aware that they're dead. That'd be some pretty cool type of stuff. But like that'd really flip the game over a wee bit. That was something that would be some cool concepts.
It's like, oh no, I am dead. I might, I might as well go and eat this guy.
I'm just imagining like I'm just imagining like when the tourist cuts off a zombie's head, it's like, oh come on man, I'm already dead. Not again.
Oh,
Oh my
quality,
god.
absolutely quality. Yeah, yeah, that would be funny. That would
Aye,
be funny.
that'd be amazing. Alright, well, we have reached the end of today's interview, man. I want to say big thanks to Whitearrowvr for coming on to this, man. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Mate, pleasure talking to you too. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's
Mate,
been
don't
great to sit down and kind of kick the breeze with you.
no, don't mention it, man. It's if you want this again sometime, just feel free to request. I love doing this type of stuff.
Absolutely. Maybe we should do something again for chapter two.
Aye, definitely. Like a
Yeah,
post discussion type thing, like our opinions on it and all that type of stuff.
for sure, mate. Yeah, I'm more than happy to sit down with you and have another chat. This has been a lot of fun, mate. Thank you
Alright,
so much.
you want to plug any of your socials or anything like that before we close off?
Yeah. Follow White Arrow VR on Twitter. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Aye.
I appreciate every single like, subscribe, and comment that I get. I read every single one. And just thank you so much.
No problem, mate. Well, thanks to everyone for watching. Make sure to check out White Arrow. His links will be in the description, and drop a like, drop a sub. Always helps out. Well, thank you for watching, and have a good one. See you next time.